Furthermore, Japan can confirm through various materials produced in Japan that Uliongdo and Dokdo are not their lands. Today my family and I visited the Independence Hall of Korea in Cheonan, Chungcheongnam-do, Republic of Korea. The Independence Hall is a museum that showcases the history of the independence movement of Korea. Dominating the entrance is the Tower of the Nation, symbolizing the grandeur of the museum. Inside the largest building, known as the House of the Nation, the unyielding Korean statue is another iconic symbol of the museum. The main theme of the museum revolves around the independence movement of Korea, which fought against Japanese colonial rule to reclaim the nation. Upon visiting, I noticed various historical materials displayed on one wall related to Dokdo Island. I've always had a keen interest in Dokdo. Whenever Japan's claim to Dokdo resurfaced in the news, it always stirred up anger within me. This time, I decided to delve into the historical evidence one by one. Through historical records kept in Korea, those recorded in Japan stating it's not their land, and documents recorded by third-party countries like the US and France, I found evidence refuting Japan's claims. With the intention of informing people around the world of the truth, I decided to create a video. Japan continues to create false controversies with the intention of turning Dokdo into a disputed territory. However, Dokdo has been a rightful territory of Korea for a long time. Let's consider the era of the Japanese imperialism. Making mistakes is one thing, but what's most important is genuine apologies and reflections to avoid repeating the same mistakes. In Germany, even to this day, many leaders and citizens continue to express national-level apologies and reflections. While it may seem sufficient every time I see it, Germany seems to bow its head in reflection on the past. I hope that our neighboring country, Japan, can also have sincere reflections on their unfortunate past and engage in dialogue with surrounding countries. Therefore, today, I want to share the story of Dokdo summarized in the Independence Hall, composed of proven facts. Of course, if the opportunity arises, I hope to produce a more detailed video in the future. The first exhibit at the Independence Hall starts with the following statement. At the eastern end of our country in the East Sea lies Dokdo, the unique territory of the Republic of Korea. However, Japan continues to claim sovereignty over Dokdo, alleging that our country is illegally occupying it. To counter Japan's unfair claims, the Independence Hall has set up an outdoor photo exhibition. Through this exhibition, we hope to educate visitors about the historical, geographical, and legal aspects affirming Dokdo as an undisputed territory of our nation, and provide an opportunity to appreciate the beautiful natural environment of Dokdo. Yes, when Japan's unfair claims are propagated worldwide through their lobbying efforts, some people who are not fully informed may sympathize with their claims. That's why understanding history and truth is crucial. So let's now examine the historical evidence confirming Dokdo as the territory of the Republic of Korea. Japan points out that the position of Dokdo on old maps of Korea is not consistent, suggesting that Dokdo was not always Korean territory. In the past, before the development of modern surveying techniques, it was challenging to accurately record the location and size of places on maps drawn with brushes and ink. It's somewhat unreasonable to expect the level of precision we have in Google Maps or satellite imagery from maps created centuries ago. However, it has been recorded in various records that Dokdo has been historically recognized as an affiliated island of Uliongdo, Sejong-silok Jiriji. This geographical book, compiled in 1454 during the Sejong era, aimed to accurately depict the national territory. It naturally recorded Usan or Dokdo and the former name of Uliongdo, Murong, as Korean territory. It is clearly documented in historical records. In the East Sea, there are two islands, Mureung, Uliongdo, and Usan, Dokdo, located to the east of Uljeon County. The two islands are not far apart, so on clear days, they can be seen from each other. Yes, the fact that our country's territory is recorded with its name in geographical books indicates recognition and management of the territory by the country. Paldo Chongdo, this map from around 1531, was included in the Dongguk Yoji Seongnam during its compilation. It is the oldest printed map in Korea. It shows Usando, Dokdo, and Uliongdo. Although the position of Usando varies slightly on maps from this era, the recognition and recording of two islands, Usando and Uliongdo, in the East Sea are evident. Sinjung Dongguk Yoji Seongnam. Compiled in 1531, this book states that Uliongdo and Usando are part of Uljeon County in Gangwon Province. It is held by the Kyujanggak Institute of Korean Studies, Joseon Wangguk Jeondo, Kingdom of Joseon. Drawn by French geographer Danville in 1737, This map marks Dokdo and Uliungdo as part of Joseon territory. It is held by the National Geographic Information Institute, Dongguk Daejeondo. This map from the 1750s is a reproduction of a map made by the late Joseon-era geographer Young Sang-gi. It accurately depicts the positions of Dokdo and Uliungdo. It is held by the National Museum of Korea. Mangyoram, compiled in 1808, this book mentions that Japan used to call Dokdo Songdo. It interprets Yusan as Dokdo, indicating that the island referred to as Songdo in Japanese historical texts is Dokdo. It is held by the Kyujangak Institute of Korean Studies. Joseon Jondo, 1846. This map was made by Kim Daejeon, Korea's first Catholic priest, for reporting to the French Catholic Church. Dokdo is marked to the right of Uliungdo, referred to as Usan. It is held by the Dokdo Museum. Haejwa Jeondo, 1850s. Produced in the mid-19th century, this representative map clearly shows the history and geography of Uliungdo and Dokdo. It is held by the Dokdo Museum. Imperial Ordnance. Number 41 of the Korean Empire, October 25, 1900. Concerned about frequent unauthorized intrusions by Japanese people into Uliungdo and Dokdo, the Korean Empire established Uliungdo and its surrounding islands as Uliungdo County in 1900. It elevated the existing administrative district to a county level and clearly stated that Dokdo was the territory of the Korean Empire. Remember the year 1900 well, as it will be significant in the context of Japan's claims in the next 5 years. Now let's briefly examine the origin of the name Dokdo. During the modern era, many people from Jeolla province migrated and settled in Uliungdo. Dokdo is a name given by the people of Jeolla province. In the Jeolla dialect, stone is called Dok. Hence it was called Dokdo or Stone Island. When represented in Chinese characters, it becomes Seokdo, and maintaining the pronunciation, it is written as Dokdo. Imperial Ordinance. Number 41 changes the name of Uliungdo to Uliung County and revises the county to be administered by the magistrate. Article 1. Change the name of Uliungdo to Uliung and designate it as part of Gangwon Province. Article 2. The location of the magistrate's office is designated as Taihadong, and the jurisdiction includes Uliungdo, Jukdo, and Seokdo, meaning that Seokdo refers to Dokdo. So far, we have examined the evidence supporting Dokdo as the territory of the Republic of Korea. Then, could there be any relevant documents in Japan? Let's check if there are any materials in Japan that support their claim. The main argument Japan presents to assert Dokdo as their land is that since no one owned Dokdo, they declared it as their own territory in 1900. However, the Korean Empire clearly asserted Dokdo as our land 5 years earlier in 1900 through the Imperial Decree No. 41, so the logic of land without an owner cannot hold. Furthermore, Japan can confirm through various materials produced in Japan that Uliungdo and Dokdo are not their lands. Enjushicho Hapiki, 1667, is the first record mentioning Dokdo by Japan in 1667, and it details information about Uliungdo and Dokdo. Japan referred to the northwest boundary of their land as Oki, indicating that Dokdo, located beyond that, is not Japanese territory. Kaishu Narabini Johosenro, 1779, is a map drawn by Nagakubo Sekisui of Japan in 1779, showing Japan's territory in color. Uliungdo and Dokdo are marked in white along with the Korean peninsula, indicating that they are part of Korea's territory. It is kept at the Northeast Asian History Foundation. Uliungdo Coastal Prohibition Order, 1696, is a document issued by the Tokugawa shogunate in Japan in 1696, declaring Uliungdo as part of Joseon's territory and prohibiting Japanese people from fishing there. It is also held by the Northeast Asian History Foundation. Hwonrok Gubyeongjayo, 1696, is a record of the investigation of Anyong Bok, who crossed over to Japan in 1696. Anyong Bok stated that Jukdo, Uliungdo, and Songdo, Dokdo, belonged to Gangwon Province and marked them on the map of Joseon's 8 provinces. It unequivocally proves that the historical Usando is indeed Dokdo. Sangoku Jepyangjido, 1785, is a map drawn by Hayashi Shihei, a Japanese person, to illustrate Japan's borders with neighboring countries. It was used as an official map by the Bakufu after Japan's opening to the world. Referring to Joseon's 8 provinces map and Kaishu Narabini Jochosenro, this map delineates territories using color, marking Dokdo and Uliungdo in yellow and explicitly stating them as Korea's territory. Nemuseong Jiliseo, 1876, is an official document from the Meiji government of Japan in 1876, ordering the detailed survey and report of each prefecture's territory. When asked whether Ulyungdo and Dokdo should be included on the Shimane Prefecture map, the response was that they are territories of Joseon, not Japan. It is kept at the National Archives of Japan. Taijungkwan Jiryong Busokjido, 1877, is a map attached to the Taijungkwan Order Supplementary Map, created in 1877, excluding Ulyungdo and Dokdo from Japanese waters. Joseon Gaiwasa, 1900, is a book written by Tsuneya Seihuku of Japan in 1900 introducing the history and geography of Korea. It mentions Ulyungdo and Dokdo as part of Joseon's territory. Joseon Donghayando, 1876, is a map issued by the Japanese Navy based on the Russian Navy's map, indicating that Dokdo belongs to Joseon. It is recorded on military maps that Dokdo is not Japanese territory. Shinchanjiji, 1887, is a Japanese geography textbook authorized by the Ministry of Education in 1887, including a map that shows Ulyungdo and Dokdo as part of Joseon. As seen from the historical books and maps compiled in Japan, they also record Ulyungdo and Dokdo as Korean territory. Japan illegally took Dokdo. In 1905, Japan decided to incorporate Dokdo into Japanese territory during the Russo-Japanese War, considering it strategically important for military purposes. They announced the decision through the Shimane Prefecture Order on February 22, 1905, without prior consultation or notification to the Korean Empire. Although the Korean Empire later became aware of Japan's illegal annexation of Dokdo, it was already under duress after the forced abdication through the Yulsa Treaty in 1905 and lost the country, including Dokdo, to Japan in 1910. Since there is no evidence of occupation by another country, applications for territorial incorporation and lease, the document from the Shimane Prefecture Order No. 40, February 22, 1905, claims Dokdo as ownerless land. However, as we have seen, the Korean Empire clearly asserted its territory through Imperial Decree No. 41 5 years earlier in 1900. Our ancestors of the Republic of Korea were remarkable. Did they anticipate this and make the announcement 5 years in advance? The report by Kangwon Province Observing Officer Seori Im Myong-rae and the directive from the Minister of Interior, 1906. In 1906, after hearing that Japan had incorporated Dokdo as its own territory, Ulyungdo's County Magistrate Shim Hong-taek reported to the central government through Kangwon Province Observing Officer. In response to this report, then Adjutant General Park Jae-soon strongly denied Japan's claim that Dokdo is Japanese territory through Directive No. 3. Shim Hong-taek recorded in his report, Dokdo, belonging to the province, clearly stating that Dokdo is under the jurisdiction of Ulyungdo. Thus, based on the provisions of the Imperial Decree No. 41 proclaimed in 1900, it can be seen that the county magistrate of Ulyungdo continues to manage Dokdo. You can see the national flag on the back. Visit of officials from the Shimane Prefecture to Ulyungdo and Ulyungdo County Magistrate Shim Hong-taek, March 1906. In 1910, the Korean Empire was forcibly annexed by Japan, including the Korean Peninsula, including Dokdo. The Gungjongjeon Hall in Gyeongbokgung Palace with the sun emblem flag. Land Survey Bureau Zone Map, 1936. This map, issued by the Japanese Army's Land Survey Bureau in 1936, accurately divides the jurisdictional zones of the Japanese authority at that time. Dokdo is included as Takeshima to the right of Ulyungdo, although Dokdo was referred to as Takeshima during the Japanese occupation period. It indicates that historically, Dokdo was recognized as a subsidiary island of Ulyungdo, even in the geographical perception of the Japanese occupation period. This map was used as evidence of Dokdo being Korean territory when Japan returned territories after its defeat, as indicated in Scapen 677. Scene of large-scale abduction of rockfish. Dokdo was a large habitat for the sea lion species called rockfish. However, as a result of Japan's Fisheries Association capturing 14,000 rockfish over 8 years to obtain their skins after 1905, they are now extinct. Where are those skins now? If there were sea lions, it would have been a more beautiful natural heritage. Gauge rocks. Gauge is the old name for rockfish. Gauge rocks are named because many rockfish used to inhabit Dokdo. With the end of World War II in 1945, Korea welcomed liberation, and Japan, defeated in the war, returned forcibly taken lands through violence and greed. In this process, the Supreme Commander of the Allied Powers recognized Dokdo as Korean territory, and we regained Dokdo, which is part of the Republic of Korea along with the Korean Peninsula. Directive No. 6/77, an annex map of the Supreme Commander of the Allied Powers, 1946, This is a map that distinguishes the administrative jurisdictions of Korea and Japan after the war, issued by the Supreme Commander of the Allied powers who ruled and governed Japan after World War II. Ulleungdo and Dokdo are separated from Japan and included within Korean jurisdiction. It explicitly states that Ulleungdo and Liancourt rocks, Dokdo, are excluded from Japan. This document is kept in the U.S. National Archives. Directive Number 1033 of the Supreme Commander of the Allied Powers, Skapen, 1946. On June 22, 1946, the Supreme Commander of the Allied Powers issued Directive Number 1033, which prohibits Japanese vessels from approaching within 12 miles of Dokdo, clearly asserting its Korean territoriality. Dokdo is specified as Korean territory through the MacArthur Line on the annex map. Despite numerous pieces of evidence proving Dokdo as Korean territory, found not only in South Korea but also in Japan, Japan has continued to make derogatory remarks about Dokdo's sovereignty since 1952. In response, South Korea has been strengthening its effective control over Dokdo. Declaration Number 14 of the Government of the Republic of Korea. Declaration on Sovereignty over Adjacent Waters, 1952. Despite the return of Dokdo by the Supreme Commander of the Allied Powers, Japan continued various lobbying activities to occupy Dokdo. In response, the South Korean government declared a peace line that included Dokdo within its territorial waters, clearly stating that Dokdo is a subsidiary territory of the Republic of Korea. Removal of Takeshima piles, 1953. This is an image of Korean Mountaineering Club members removing stakes installed by Japan in protest of the peace line on Dokdo, which were labeled Shimane Prefecture Okinoshima Village Gokamura Takeshima in 1953. Installation of Dokdo markers, 1953. This is an image of the Korean Mountaineering Club installing Dokdo markers after removing stakes. The markers are engraved with Dokdo in Korean and Chinese characters, and Liancourt, the international name for Dokdo, territory of Korea. In response to Japan raising the issue of Dokdo's sovereignty after liberation, the government engraved Territory of Korea on rocks, asserting South Korea's sovereignty. Dokdo Territory Marker. This is a Dokdo Territory marker installed in Namyeon, Ulleunggun, Gyeongsangbuk-do in 1954. First circular taguki raised on Dokdo. This is an image of the first circular taguki, donated to the Independence Memorial Hall, being raised by the Dokdo Coast Guard. Dokdo Marker. This is a Dokdo marker inscribed with easternmost land of the Republic of Korea. A reconnaissance aircraft F-16 are surveying Dokdo. Vank's Dokdo Promotion Vank, Voluntary Agency Network of Korea, is a cyber diplomatic envoy that promotes Korea to netizens worldwide. It is recommended to search on YouTube or Google. Dokdo Museum. The Dokdo Museum, located in Ulleunggun, Gyeongsangbuk-do, opened in 1997 to counter Japan's claims of sovereignty by collecting and exhibiting historical materials related to Dokdo. Dokdo Coast Guard. Since 1954, Dokdo has been guarded by the Dokdo Coast Guard, under the jurisdiction of the Gyeongbuk Provincial Police Agency. The fact that police, not military personnel, guard Dokdo signifies that this area is not a disputed territory. Thus far we have examined the history related to Dokdo, an obvious territory of the Republic of Korea. Dokdo, a beautiful island located at the eastern end of the Republic of Korea, consists of Dongdo, Seodo, and 89 subsidiary islands. Designated as Natural Monument Number 336 of South Korea, Dokdo is not only a habitat for various flora and fauna, but also a sanctuary for migratory birds flying to the East Sea. Located in the East Sea, Dokdo is unequivocally the unique territory of the Republic of Korea, historically, geographically, and legally. Seized illegally by imperialistic Japan during the Russia-Japanese War, Dokdo, regained with liberation in 1945, symbolizes the independence and sovereignty of the Republic of Korea. Dokdo, effectively governed by South Korea, is an undisputed territory of the Republic of Korea, not requiring diplomatic negotiations or judicial resolutions. We hope Japan reflects on its past imperialistic aggression and strives for peaceful relations with neighboring countries.